Person just home switch reaction. This is every political ideology explained in 8 minutes. Vachal, the paint explainer. Every famous political ideology gets explained in 8 minutes. Yeah, I like this explained in minute videos, right? Yeah. First, I think it like Bill Woods was the original, I guess, explained in certain minutes type of thing. Then they just took off. Now this like country balls type of thing is like a lot. Also, so like religious things with Redeem Zuma, which is similar to this, but it's like about religious things. This is about political ideology. It's going to be interesting in 8 minutes. All of it, right? Look at that. Yeah, it's like 21 here or something. Some of them looks like they might be part of the one. It's like more okay. It's gonna be interesting. Let's watch it. Remember, will flag my don't forget subscribe. That way, I know which type of videos to react to more, and you can help the channel by helping the algorithm and things. If you haven't seen my other reactions to things like this, there's a link in the description or in the end of the video, the end card. And yeah, I have Instagram now. If you want to follow me, also link in the description. Let's watch it.
Conservatism. Conservatism, as the name suggests, tries to conserve traditional values. In Western culture, conservatives usually promote the nuclear family, organized religion, the military, and property rights. Liberalism. Liberalism is usually cited as the
I always thought of conservatism as like the ones who want to like conserve, basically, as the name suggests. That's why one thing I've noticed, of at least in USA, conservatists spends a lot of money in any science related, like NASA's budget goes up every time Republicans are in the basically power. Why? Because they know that innovations and scientific technology is the way to grow your economy. Basically, conservatives are the one who's trying to keep the America on top any means necessary. Doesn't matter even if they're moral or not, which basically obviously comes to question. So they just want to keep things the way they are. They want to keep America number one. So basically, spending and things, I always see that.
dominant ideology in modern history. It usually likes that every single individual has his own rights, that the government has to be approved by its own people, and that everyone should be treated the same way before the law. It also likes free markets, elections between multiple political parties, a separation of powers into different branches of the government, a separation of religion from the government, a set of fundamental values written in the Constitution, privacy rights, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion. Moderatism.
Doesn't that make every democratic country liberalism under liberalism? Doesn't that conservative also make fall under liberalism? Because liberalism basically just like modern day democracy, right? Individual are more right than the nation. Communism is different. Communism cares about their nation before the people, so people get sacrificed. Basically, in any democratic or liberalist type of country, like how probably US is, how India is, right? If like something comes in the way of like let's just say government development, but something comes in the way like people's rights, they people can go to court and basically halt that thing, right? Like let's just say governments want to make a road somewhere, but there are like private property there. Now yeah, there is rights like eminent domain or something, but there's a limit to that. If something's new and newly built and was approved by government suddenly decide I want to make something here, usually that doesn't approve, like government gets halted there, right? At least in India, that's how it happens. Like even roads gets halted because it's like, oh, come on, man. The guy is right here. You can just do this. But in communism, doesn't matter what it is. They will build the road. You will be relocated because it's good for the country type of thing.
Moderatism likes to stay within what is called the Overton window, which is the range of policies politically acceptable to the mainstream population. In most cases, moderates are apolitical, which means that they don't care, but they have a little bit of knowledge about politics. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system based on the private ownership of the means of production and their operation for profit. The central characteristics of capitalism are private property, free exchange, competition, division of labor, and social cooperation. Socialism. There are many types of...
Wait a minute. Is competition part of the ideology? Because free market is the main thing, right? Individual right to things and free market. Now competition can grow out of that, because capitalism kills competition a lot, and it is allowed under capitalism in a way, right? Because if you halt that, you halt progress. So competition, I guess, is like byproduct of it, but it's like I don't think it's the main thing of it.
Of socialism, making this an umbrella term. In the classical sense, socialism describes worker-owned means of production, heavily supporting worker coups, democratic self-management, and workplace democracy. Socialism in the modern age advocates workers' democratic self-management,
Endlich kann dein
high taxation on the wealthy, and nationalization of key parts of industry. One of its key values is social ownership. Syndicalism. Syndicalism is the son of socialism, and it believes
Hmm. Socialism, I think. I think communism is also part of like okay, socialism based thing is like everybody owns everything type of way, right? We group basically own everything, and I don't know, basically something like that. Now socialism, one of the element of socialism is also that like I don't know, there are many versions of socialism, but as far as like then the Marxist one, the main thing goes is like no one can be better than the other type of way, right? That's why historically when you see any socialism implemented in the past, right, any like like in the Soviet Union, right, communism is also like part of socialism. So in Soviet Union, like anybody who was like really smarter or something that had better thing were either like relocated or put down or something like that, because the ideology is that everybody's equal. So I don't know why they have to implement that, like socialism. Like, why can't you acknowledge somebody on merit being better? I don't know.
that unionization of the workforce, the establishment of local, decentralized revolutionary worker organizations called syndicates, and advancement of workers' demands through the use of strikes and direct action are the best methods by which a socialist society should be achieved. Once a post-capitalist society is achieved, a congress or commune of syndicates would be created to represent the many unions or areas of the economy for a central government. Corporatism. Corporatism advocates the organization of society in different areas of employment, like agriculture, military, engineering, etc., which people get assigned to based on their interests and skills. It believes in a cross-class system of regulation in which the workers, employers, and state negotiate with one another in order to most efficiently run the economy and satisfy, in theory, all parties involved.
That would work.
It does not refer
Would
to a political
definitely
system
work.
dominated by large business interests. That would be a corporatocracy. Libertarianism.
Yeah, we know that would work. Okay, I understand the concept of it, but come on, like, what we have right now, which is like enforced in a way, barely works, right? This kind of thing, like everybody working together, yeah, you would have like government shutdowns left and right.
Libertarianism upholds liberty as a core value, and it seeks to maximize autonomy and political freedom. It likes a very limited government. It believes in the same principles of liberalism, such as equality before the law and the basic rights to life, liberty, and property. Separatism. Separatism.
So that can also be described by Americans, right? Because I'm pretty sure, like in America, they like autonomy more, states at least, right? They try to keep a federal government as much as they can.
Also commonly known as secessionism, seeks to establish a nation, country, sovereign state,
That's
or
an
government
ideology.
that is separate from an already existing nation. Communism.
They just want to
Communism
separate.
is centered around common ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange that allocates products to everyone in society based on need. A communist
socialism
society
as well?
doesn't have private property, social classes, money, or the state. Feminism.
How is that different from socialism? So this always confuses me. Somebody comment down in detail, like how does that two differ? I get it, like there are multiple socialism things, like there's like modern liberal socialism that is working in Scandinavian things. I know that's different, but original Marxist socialism and communism, how is that different?
Feminism aims to define and establish the
This
political,
is also an
economic,
ideology.
personal, and social equality of the sexes. It holds the position that societies prioritize the male point of view and that women are treated unjustly in these societies. Efforts to change this include fighting against gender stereotypes and improving educational and professional opportunities for women.
Yeah, in West, that was a thing before. Nowadays, I don't know, right? Like, which rights women don't have. You really have to think about, like, they have all the rights. They can go to any college they want. They can study anything they want. So in West world, that doesn't make, but I think that doesn't matter much, right? Any people who like scream feminism are like far away from feminism. But in the world, developing countries and things, yeah, feminism needs to happen strong, because of many places like, the right of women is just not there, right? Even diverse places in India, the world is that diverse. There are many different type of people. There are probably many areas where there should be an issue. Yeah, I think it's like, because of the core government slowly going away, but still.
Anarchism. Anarchism is an ideology that advocates for a society without rulers or constituted authority, with a focus on the notion of freedom. It advocates for the replacement of the state with stateless societies and voluntary free associations. Environmentalism.
What the fuck was that? Really? Is this an ideology? Which idiots think this is good? What is government? Government is like group of people who choose one of among them who are like better at this, and they run for them. But what are they arguing? Like 300 million people of US that just said gonna govern themselves. How are they supposed to do their job and at the same time also worry about the government things? That is what whole government is for. One of you is gonna do things better. You're just gonna focus all your energy doing that while we do our other shit. That is what government is.
Stateless societies and voluntary free associations. Environmentalism. Environmentalism, sometimes called green politics, is a term used to represent a range of ideologies that fall under the belief that nature should be a significant factor in deciding public policy, be it increasing recycling, decreasing CO2 emissions, stopping water pollution, etc. Populism. It focuses on appealing to a large number of people and their sensibilities, believing that what the masses want must be what the masses get. It can take on many forms, as its only requirement is that it represents a movement by the people for the people. This causes it to have no real political affiliation. It's often associated with democracies due to its reliance on popular support. It often divides the people from the elite, and it's frequently anti-establishment and anti-politics. Republicanism.
Yeah, I have many problems with that. Let's just say people can be an idiot, might not know what's good for them long run, right? I mean, this wouldn't happen, but imagine every majority of people in one place suddenly says like, fuck the law, this is one guy, we hate this guy, hang him without any crime or something. I know that's stupid, would never happen, but what if that happens? Would law do that? Does law work based on like how politics is work or how elections work? No, law doesn't work like that, right? So law does what law is written, not what majority of people want at that time. Because if that were the case, that would be really fucked up. It would be like, I don't know, just like how in Soviet Union, governments basically put down people. This would be like people or a large major amount. I mean, you would think like how a lot of people, like majority of people would be wrong. Yeah, so it won't be. So probably this won't be an issue. But who knows? So as a concept, this wouldn't be good.
Republicanism is an ideology centered around a system of government that is non-hereditary and, in opposition to monarchism, gives political power to its citizens in a state organized as a republic. Progressivism.
What?
Progressivism says that
Okay, how are they different from the other ones?
in a state organized as a republic.
I mean, how is that different than any other one? Like, yeah, I don't know. Liberalism, whatever.
Progressivism says that heritage that stems from the past is not to be held sacred and should instead be viewed as less important than societal progress. It's basically the opposite of conservatism. Imperialism. Imperialism has traditionally believed a country should expand its power or influence through
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with that one is too. Like, you can't just discard your society and your societal values just for future, just point blank. You don't know how things will play out or how important things will be or how chaotic future will be if you just discard the past like that.
through military action. It was once very popular, and it was basically considerable as moderatism, but it has decreased in popularity over the years. Imperialism is noted for its war advocacy and belief that the powerful nations should rule over the weaker ones. It usually defends himself against accusations of oppression by insisting that colonized people benefit because the richer nations help them and give them things they couldn't get normally. Egalitarianism. Egalitarianism is a school of thought that builds on the concept of social equality, prioritizing it for all people. As such, all citizens of a state should be accorded equal rights and treatment under the law. Transhumanism. Transhumanism believes
Egalitarianism. That's scarily sound like the point I was making about socialism. Like everybody should be equal, regardless of what, regardless of the merit, which is like scary thing.
that everyone should upgrade themselves with technology to overcome both the most basic and most complex of humanity's challenges. The ultimate objective is for all people to reach immortality and an incredibly advanced mind and body. Communitarianism. Communitarianism is an ideology that emphasizes the well-being of and the importance of the community as the primary social unit. It will typically stress the idea that the left-right binary of politics is holding politics back, as well as argue that policies from both sides of the spectrum are complementary and necessary to benefit the community. It believes that absolute individualism is harmful when it contradicts the common good. Authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is a form of government characterized by a strong power, which is usually central, that demands obedience to authority and limited political and civil freedoms. For example, most classic monarchies are a form of authoritarianism. The ruler of an authoritarian country imprisons and persecutes its opponents. Fascism. Fascism says that people are weak divided, but strong united under the banner, whether that banner be of a state, nation, army, or anything of the like. It is authoritarian, which means that it's characterized by a controlling government that rejects the idea that people can vote between multiple parties. It involves a strong central power, which usually refers to a dictator, so it rejects separation of power. Fascism is
Yeah, fascism basically like being king without having like royal anything or royal bullshit. Are you from the royal blood? No. But I have power, I have military. Welcome to my shit now, fascism.
also ultranationalist, which is the belief that a nation shouldn't care about other nations' rights as long as it benefits itself. Ultranationalism usually coexists with militarism, which is the idea that a nation should have a powerful enough military to expand national interests and values. Fascism suppresses opposition using forceful methods. It believes in a natural social hierarchy, and it promotes the refusal of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race. Nazism. Nazism is a form of fascism with a focus on its racist ideology, which says that the Aryan race is superior. It believes that the Aryan race should rule the rest of the world to make it better, thus being ultranationalist. To be classified as an Aryan by the Nazis, you have to be white, straight, mentally and physically able, non-cowardice, and non-Jewish. If you are considered non-Aryan, you are called Untermensch, which means subhuman. It also likes eugenics, a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population. For that reason, people with inherited disorders are considered useless eaters and were killed
There's no enhancement, they just stop it.
or sent to camps on sight, as they were regarded as life unworthy of life. Nazism also hates homosexuals, considering them Untermensch as well. I'll be making
Yeah, it's basically, Nazism is just like fascism, but fascism like nation, this also think of race. There you go. Right, well, that was every political ideology explained in 8 minutes by the channel Parent Explainer. If you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.